Welcome back to Sports World. Earlier this month, the Chicago Bulls' Luol Deng won the NBA's Sportsmanship Award. A good person he clearly is, but he's also on the verge of becoming a great basketball player. The Sudanese native's 26-point first-round playoff average against no less than the defending champion Miami Heat was the highest average by a Bulls player since the legendary Michael Jordan retired in 1998. Recently, I got a chance to speak with Luol Deng about his meteoric rise and about the long road he's taken to basketball stardom. Let me ask you first, do you have to pinch yourself occasionally because of where you are? I mean, you're in the greatest basketball league in the world, playing against some of the greatest players, Shaquille O'Neal, all these guys. 10 years ago, you were a kid in London who was mostly playing football, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dream come true. You know, I think all it is was I've been very blessed. You know, I believed in everything I did, and I've just been, really lucky with everything.
Do you think that the nomadic route that you took to get here, growing up in Sudan, leaving there because of the civil strife, and then spend some time in Egypt and then London, do you think that makes you more appreciative of where you are and like the journey you've taken?
I mean, yeah. I mean, definitely. I think a lot of guys, or just a lot of people, just live today not knowing, what's going on in, other world, or, what it feels like to what's going on in other countries. I've just been lucky, to be there and witness it, and just I've been mature enough, to take the positive out of it.
How was it leaving Sudan from a Christian family and going to Egypt to live for a while, where you were immersed in a mostly Muslim country? Was that difficult, or was it an adjustment? Were they welcoming?
No, I mean, it's fine. I think you learn. I think we stuck with we stuck with our religion. Went to church and everything, and I had friends. I had a lot of Muslim friends growing up.
I know you observed Ramadan with them too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it does is it just it just really makes you appreciate other things. I think a lot of people have negative ideas out there about what's going on, but being able to live it, and I still have friends there. So I've been really lucky.
The whole world must be saddened when we see the pictures coming out of Sudan, out of Darfur, the news out of Khartoum. Do you still follow it? How does it make you feel when you see those pictures? I mean, it's a long way behind you now, but you're still a Sudanese guy. I
mean, yeah, I think my family, my dad is still in the Sudan. I think you don't want to see things like that, not just in the Sudan, but just in the world. I think there's people out there trying to make a difference, and if you could help one person, it makes a lot of difference. You don't want to see those things, but the reality is that's our world. That's what we live in. It's not really balanced, but that's something we got to solve.
And I know you do some things to try to make a difference as well. I mean, you donate money back to Sudan, and you do some work. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have a foundation, and my dad, take care of my foundation while I do stuff back in the Sudan. And I do stuff with the World Food Program, and I do a lot of small events. I just, try to do stuff here and there where, I could just, appreciate what I have, and, just remind myself how lucky I am and share it with everybody.
Some of your formative years obviously were spent in London, in the UK. Did I understand you're an Arsenal fan? Still are a big Arsenal fan?
I am a big Arsenal fan. That's my team.
Not a great year for the Gunners this year.
No, it's not. But, I think almost every team goes through a year like that. It's fine. I think we'll regroup. We're Arsenal, man. We'll be back next year. So.
And you got your British citizenship, and you're actually going to play for Britain. I would never expect to see Britain in basketball, but because they're hosting the Olympics in 2012, they get a free pass in. That's going to be an interesting experience for you.
We're gonna surprise a lot of people. I think basketball is small in England right now, but there's a lot of talent there. Yeah. It's a lot of talent in England, and I think the Olympic is just a blessing being in London, because all of us growing up, we always felt like basketball was left out. So now it's our chance. We're gonna go out there and show the world that we actually work hard on what we do, and that country has a great talent in basketball.
And how about the president, Lou, also, playing for the Chicago Bulls? I mean, this is the team Michael Jordan played for. I mean, do you feel that? I mean, did you know who the Chicago Bulls were when you were 12 years old in London?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows the Chicago Bulls, and it's just a blessing. I think I was a Bulls fan, growing up, and here I am playing for them today. So it's just it's a dream. I'm living a dream right now, and I don't want to wake up anytime soon. So.
Great young player, more to be heard from Luol Deng, certainly. Well, the sport of rugby is no longer just a rite of passage for boys to become men. In fact, in the last few years, rugby has become a big hit with women in Europe and the Pacific. And now more and more Asian women are scrumming down as well, as Joanna Gasharowska reports from the Qatari capital, Doha.
They're strong, they're skillful, and they're determined to win. These rugby players are some of the best Asia has to offer, and most surprisingly, they're all women. The sport may have long been a man's domain in places like Hong Kong and Japan, but things are changing fast in the Asian rugby scene.
We feel much better after playing well. 1, 2, 3, go!
Like the men who have played before them, more Asian women are seeing through the stereotype and finding a sport that is physically and psychologically liberating.
The game is really rough, so a lot of parents are like, no rugby for girls, and we have a hard time trying to get a team of players to come in. But I think the rugby in Singapore is developing quite quickly. My parents are they like sports. They like their daughters to play sports. I've got two sisters, and all of us are girls. And my dad was like, you go all out, play whatever you want, and I chose the rugby as a sport, and he said, sure, yeah, no worries.
From the eyes of outsiders, you may think that rugby is not a sport that girls would play. Sports are becoming more and more equal, even in Japan. So we say that women can equally play rugby just as the men do. Even though the image of the Japanese is dainty and not really aggressive, we feel the opposite, that we can be aggressive women and strong rugby players.
This is the 5th Asian Women's Rugby Sevens, an annual tournament which pits teams from all over the continent in a round-robin format, with each team playing 8 games over 48 hours.
Don't let them run around us. Don't let them beat outside.
This year it made its debut in the Middle East, in the Qatari capital Doha.
Sevens rugby is a shortened version of the normal 15s game to promote women's rugby in a fast, action-packed sort of way to the community, something Doha probably never seen before, and not on a women's stage, that's for sure.
The 8 teams vying for the title were Uzbekistan, Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, Japan, Kazakhstan, Thailand, Singapore, and the host nation, the Arabian Gulf. Last year's winners, China, for reasons not entirely clear, failed to show up to defend their title.
Hong Kong is good.
Over the past 10 years, the sport has witnessed an enormous growth in popularity, especially as the typical image of Asian women becomes less defined. None of these countries are rugby giants yet, but each of their players has an unflinching passion for the game, even if they have very different physical qualities and style.
I think our secret is techniques. It's a technique tackles under the hips. We tackle well. Our girls are very simple, but they can fall down big persons.
And don't be fooled, whatever their size when they hit, it hurts. Injuries are common whether they're playing for titles or simply pride. These women are from all over Asia, but they're united in a common goal. Of course, they all want to win the trophy here in Doha, but perhaps more importantly is the desire to promote the sport to other women in their countries.
I think winning is right now the top priority, and by coming in top 2 at least for Singapore, it'll be a great boost for us in terms of support from the Sports Council and the game being a more popular sport amongst girls, knowing that, hey, if Team Singapore can do it, so why not? We'll try it out.
Если мы будем хотя бы в тройке,
We hope to be in the top 3 because that might influence the people at the top to give us money. For us, because Japan rugby is not as well recognized, one of the biggest things we have to have is results. No one is going to care about how many injuries, how many tries. They are going to say, oh, you won the tournament. That's going to be the turning point. We want that support and respect. We have to do our best, but the end result, that's what everyone is going to see.
As night falls, the stakes are rising. Thailand beat the Arabian Gulf to secure 3rd place. And so it was down to Japan versus three-time winners Kazakhstan in the final. In the end, the latter proved too strong for the Japanese, thrashing them by 25 points to 0.
I dream about it all year because in the last year we lost to China. That's why all year I think only about Asian Championship.
For these women, it's been a hot and tiring 2 days on the pitch. But even among those who didn't win, there's some sense of victory. They came, they played, and with each game, they took another step towards changing perceptions. Joanna Gajarowska, Al Jazeera, Doha.
And that's all the time we have for this edition of Sportsworld. As always, remember you can keep up to date on all the sports news from around the world on our website, aljazeera.net/English. I'm Brendan Connor. You're watching Al Jazeera.